At this moment, I have an absolutely special person with me today under the Tebere Arts Foundation. Some of you may have heard of her, some of you may have not heard of her, but considering that the Tebere Arts Foundation is behind this amazing, amazing project and event we're seeing today, we are, and I am happy to introduce you to Asiimwe Deborah Kawe, who is our producing artist director for Tebere Arts Foundation. What a pleasure it is to have you here.
Thank you so much, Penelope. I'm happy to be here. It's a pleasure to have you as well, have this conversation together. And thank you so much for the interviews that you've been running. And I can't wait to hear what you have to ask me.
Everything I have to ask you is first of all I want to appreciate and congratulate you for what you have put here today. You as well as your team have done such an amazing job. When you listen and speak to the artists, you realize that they are really grateful. The feedback from the audio story listening parties is exceptional. People have picked out on work, and the beauty is most of the people we have here are fellow artists. So we can see that they're being drawn in, and it's just, it wouldn't be happening if Tavera Arts Foundation was not doing the work. So what I would like to know though is that as much as we're witnessing so much activity within this space, we're seeing emerging artists sharing their work, discussing their work, which is absolutely phenomenal. For someone who is hearing about the this whole function, the audio storytelling party, for someone who's hearing it for the first time, just help us understand what is it all about and what is the relationship with it and the Tebere Arts Foundation.
Okay, thank you so much. That's such a great question. And I'm always happy to talk about Tebere Arts Foundation. The word Tebere comes from Runyankore Ruchiga. This is a language from southwest Uganda. And Tebere, it's like a refrain. When a storyteller starts their story, they start with Mbaganere Mbaganere, which is an equivalent of Once Upon a Time. And Tebere is like an encouragement from the audience to the storyteller to continue telling their story. So we came up with that word to say that we are a space that encourages people to continue telling stories.
Absolutely amazing.
And Tebere Arts Foundation has 5 core programs. The first one is the Emerging Artists Program. And this is a program where we take in people who have just graduated from university or young people who are self-taught and they are looking for a space that can give them skills to discover their individual artistic voice. And so we take them in for a full year. And the stories that you've been referring to, the audio stories that people are listening to behind me in that space here at the British Council, were all written by our emerging artists. And so we take them in for 1 year. We introduce them to different elements of storytelling, specifically theater. And so during COVID, when people could not be with one another physically in the same space, we started asking ourselves, how else can we continue telling stories? And so we started this program of telling stories for the ear. And so that's how the whole audio storytelling installation came about. And then when the spaces opened up and the pandemic was kind of gone, we thought, why should we completely cut off this program? So we continued doing during the program. Anyway, so the Emerging Artists Program is one of our programs. We also have a mid-career and established playwrights residency, which is a space where we take in 3 to 4 playwrights for 3 months, and we give them all the resources that they need, actors, directors, to create new work. So we kind of commission new work. And usually out of that new work, we select one play to produce, to give a production. So that is our 4th core program, annual production. So we produce plays annually. And the 4th one is a program that we started about 2 years ago. It's a community engagement initiative theater program where we select a community within Kampala and we kind of have a peer-to-peer exchange with them. And right now we've been working with a community in Kamocha. And the last program is the Kampala International Theatre Festival, which is coming up actually in November from the 20th to the 24th. So those are the 5 core programs that Tebere Arts Foundation runs. And I am so privileged to be the producing artistic director of the foundation.
Thank you so much. And you're doing such a great job.
Thank you.
You spoke about, when someone now understands where Tebere comes from, and I have noticed the pronunciation has been so off, but
it's all right.
but when someone now understands, it has a lot more momentum. You know what they usually say, some things cannot be interpreted in English as they come out in vernacular.
Yes.
So when you spoke of it, I said, now I get the strength. It makes the keep going, keep moving. It makes a lot of meaning now, and it's doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Please keep up the good work.
Thank you.
I would also like to maybe find out from you. So Tebere Arts Foundation, it aims on creating spaces for artists, right, to thrive in the world of theatre.
Right.
And this is absolutely an incredible opportunity for many of these emerging artists, and also for the objective of Tebere as itself. So as Tebere Arts Foundation producing artistic director,
right,
could you tell us, with regard to this event, what does it mean to Tebere Arts Foundation, to the foundation itself, with regards to your vision?
Right.
Do you believe you have maybe achieved a milestone in your objectives as the foundation, and do you feel like a lot more can be done? And if so, maybe you could share those suggestions with us. Yeah, but looking at the impact and your vision,
right,
what does this amazing event mean to your journey?
Right. Thank you so much. That's such a wonderful question. So when we started the audio storytelling installation, they were only confined to the Kampala International Theatre Festival. They had never gotten an opportunity to be outside of the festival. So for the audiences that were not going to the festival, had no idea that we were doing this. And since this is September, so since August, we have been curating the audio storytelling parties, installation in different spaces. And so this is like the conclusion of it all. And we have had such an amazing turn up. The installation is full. We're going to be having different activities, music, some games. And so for me, and also for the rest of my colleagues, it's so important that people who didn't have an opportunity to listen to the stories during the festival are getting an opportunity to listen to these stories. But in terms of the larger scale of our vision and whether we have been able to achieve our milestones, I think it's a journey.
Okay.
I can tell you that since Tebere Arts Foundation started, we celebrated our 5th anniversary last month.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So since we started, we have mentored over 40 emerging artists. Yes, because every year we take in 10 to 12 emerging artists. And we have been able to support 10 playwrights. Out of the 10, we have produced 5 plays. And as a foundation, we employ about 10 people full-time. And then during the Kampala International Theatre Festival, we temporarily employ between 100 and 150 people. So
that's quite a number.
It is quite a number, and we're excited that we are doing this. We are trying to connect regionally artists in Kenya, Rwanda. For example, here at the installation and listening party, we have some stories from Kenya, from the Kenya International Theatre Festival. And last year, they also curated our stories, our emerging artist stories. So it's a journey. We cannot never ever say we have arrived. Our contribution is one of the many contributions from different artists in the country to the whole industry, and we are happy and excited and truly honored to know that there are organizations that recognize our work. Like, for example, the British Council. We have worked with them for a few years, and we are grateful that they have recognized the kind of work that we do, along other organizations that I'm not going to be able to mention in this short interview.
It's all right.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. That I can tell that there is a lot of passion. This
Yes.
comes from a very passionate space. It's not like you can tell, I
Absolutely.
can read it through your conversation, but that is
Thank you.
really wonderful. And I know, you know, like how bricks are built, one brick at a time.
Yes.
Build the wall. You know, Rome
Yes.
wasn't built in one day.
That's right.
So still looking at our emerging artists. I mean, we have some emerging. I would like to know maybe what you'd like to share with them. Thank you so much once again. We still continue to discuss Tevere Arts Foundation, and I would just like to know from you. We still have emerging artists that are sitting at home.
Yeah.
They have the skill, they have the talent. They probably don't know where to start. They have so many things that are probably restricting them. And like you've shared, there's so many programs, there's so many activities that you have on board. How can they become a part of the Tevere Arts Foundation? Do they just, you know, is there an application? Is there a website? What would you tell them right now that they can get up tomorrow and just make that choice and you know, come and join the foundation?
Thank you. I'm so glad you've asked that question. So, yes, we usually take in our new cohort at the beginning of June. And so the applications usually go live at the beginning of the year because our cohort, like our outgoing cohort, graduates in May, and then we take in the new cohort in June.
There's a graduation?
Graduate in quotation. It's not like a ceremony. So please, I would tell them, maybe I should look directly into the camera and say, visit our website at www.tebere is TEBERE.org. And so the application link is going to go live. It's an open submission process. They fill out the form. We ask a few questions. We ask for like statement of intent, you know, things that are really simple. And so usually what happens once we receive the submissions, we read all of them, we evaluate them, and then we invite people that we select for interviews. And like I said, we take in 10 to 12 people per year.
So, sorry to interrupt. So there's no document, maybe academic document that they need?
No.
No,
they don't.
Required.
No, it's not required.
CV and
just like the work they've done, because if there's any kind of work that they've done and maybe they shelved it, they feel like, oh, I'm not ready to share this kind of work, we encourage them to share that with us because it makes us realize the kind of artists they are. And so, like I said, we take in people who have either graduated from university but also self-taught artists. So there's no academic paper that's required.
So that's actually quite easy. They have no reason to sit at home anymore.
No, absolutely not.
Really as open as possible.
Absolutely. That's and the other thing is that it's completely free.
I was actually going to mention that. To ask, is there some sort of payment? And then I realized they actually have no reason to be restricted. So I hope they are listening and they're taking advantage of that.
I hope so too.
So I also wanted to find out from you, when we have conversations, for example, with our emerging artists today, one of the things that they keep mentioning that they think is their major challenge is exposure. And when we ask them, you know, how do you think we can raise the numbers in the audio listening parties, and they say, oh no, we're not exposed, oh no, we're not, you know, I heard from this person, but we need to be put out there. We are not sure who is responsible for that. But with our current situation, what do you suggest can be done to increase on the level of exposure, to get our artists out there and also try to encourage others to know what's happening and be able to participate?
Right. Again, that's a fantastic question. One of the things I think as a society that we lack is trained arts journalists. People who can write about the arts from an informed point of view. We do have journalists who write about the arts, but most of them are, again, self-taught. And so they really don't know how to write about the arts, don't know how to promote artists. But thank God for social media. We can promote ourselves. And I think that's what we need to do, really, to push ourselves, to push the kind of things we do, to push our brand. And I mean, most of the people who are listening to the stories today, they saw this through social media. And I think that's what we need to do. I'm an artist as well. Apart from being an administrator, manager in the arts, I'm an artist, and I used to be terribly shy, very, very shy. And I remember one of my professors said something to me and said, just show up. You never know the magic that will happen by you just showing up. And that's what I would want to pass on to that person who feels like, how do I get out of here? People out there know exactly who they want to be, what they want to do, but just show up. Maybe by showing up, you will find something that will help you discover your individual, unique artistic voice.
That is absolutely wonderful advice. And I really, really do hope that everyone who is listening has listened in it. Showing up is all.
Yeah, thank you so much, Penelope. It's been such a pleasure having this conversation with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.